I open the frosted glass door marked reserved. My name is Sochil, and I've been married for 19 years. Inside this private dining room, my husband sits across from a woman I don't recognize. He's feeding her dessert, their laughter soft and intimate. The server glides past me with a warm smile, saying "Happy anniversary" to their table. My husband doesn't correct her. He just grins and touches the woman's hand. My chest tightens, but I stay calm. I pull out my phone and snap 3 photos before anyone notices me. The lighting is perfect, the evidence clear. Then I back out slowly, letting the door close with a whisper. My hands shake as I walk to my car, but my mind is already working. I check our banking app and see the charge pending. Marcelo's restaurant, $847. I screenshot it. Then I notice something that makes my blood run cold. The payment source isn't our regular credit card. It's our home equity line of credit, the HELOC we took out years ago for emergencies only. I sit in my car for 20 minutes, staring at my phone. The HELOC notification glows on the screen. $3,412 pending. Our house has been mortgage-free for 6 years. We worked so hard to pay it off early, celebrating with champagne the day we made that final payment. Now he's borrowing against it for her. I scroll through recent transactions, my stomach twisting with each discovery. There are charges I don't recognize. Jewelry stores, boutique hotels, expensive restaurants in neighborhoods we never visit together. He's been using our home, our security, our foundation, to fund an affair. I feel sick, but force myself to keep looking. Then I see it, a second pending charge, even larger than the restaurant bill. It's labeled Wire Transfer Security Deposit with an address attached. I copy the address and paste it into Google Maps. It's a luxury apartment complex downtown, the kind with a doorman and rooftop pool. My hands grip the steering wheel until my knuckles turn white. I drive home in a daze, my mind racing through possibilities. When did this start? How long has he been lying? I pull into our driveway and sit in the darkness, watching our bedroom window. The light is off. He's still out with her, probably thinking I'm at my book club like I told him. I go inside and head straight to his home office. His laptop sits on the desk, password protected, but I know he keeps important documents in the filing cabinet. I find the folder labeled Retirement and Investment and pull out statements from his 401k. Then I see something that doesn't make sense. There's a loan against his retirement account, dated 3 weeks ago. The amount, $45,000. The purpose listed, home renovation. We haven't discussed any renovations. I photograph every page, my hands steadier now. Then I notice the loan application requires spousal consent for married borrowers. I flip to the signature page and freeze. My signature is there, neat and official looking. Except I never signed this document. I stare at it, my heart pounding. The timestamp reads February 1st, 2:14 p.m. I grab my work calendar and check that date. I was in a budget meeting that afternoon, a recorded Zoom call with 12 other people. I have proof I couldn't have signed this. He forged my signature. My husband committed fraud, using my identity to steal from his own retirement fund. I take photos of everything, the signature page, the timestamp, the loan details. Then I text my assistant, asking her to send me the recording link from that February 1st meeting. She responds within minutes. I download the video and screenshot the timestamp showing me on camera at exactly 2:14 p.m. This isn't just betrayal anymore. This is a crime. I sit on his office floor, surrounded by evidence, and something inside me shifts from hurt to clarity. I need a lawyer, and I need one tonight. I spend next 2 hours researching family law attorneys who specialize in high-conflict divorce. Then I remember something from 10 years ago. We went through a rough patch after I caught him texting an old girlfriend. He got paranoid, worried I'd leave him and take everything. He insisted we sign a post-nuptial agreement to protect both of us. I agreed because I wanted to save our marriage. I pull out our safe and find the document. Reading it now, I see clauses I'd forgotten about. Section 4C, Infidelity Clause. If either party commits adultery proven by clear evidence, they forfeit their claim to marital assets acquired during the marriage. Section 5A. Fraud penalties. Any party who engages in financial fraud or misrepresentation forfeits their interest in joint property and assumes all marital debt. Section 7B. Pension redistribution. In the event of infidelity combined with financial misconduct, the injured party receives 70% of all retirement assets. I read it 3 times, hardly believing it. He wrote this agreement. He insisted on these exact terms. The next morning, I call the attorney whose reviews mention aggressive asset protection. Her name is Victoria Chun, and she agrees to see me that same afternoon. In her office, I spread out everything: photos from the restaurant, bank statements, the forged loan documents, my work meeting recording, the postnuptial agreement. Victoria studies each piece carefully, occasionally making notes. When she finishes, she looks at me with something like admiration. "This is the most documented case I've seen in 15 years, she says. "Your husband handed you everything you need." She explains that the forgery alone is potentially criminal. Combined with the infidelity clause he drafted, we have leverage most people only dream of. Then she asks about his employment. I tell her he's a senior executive at a consulting firm with a compensation package that includes deferred bonuses. "Does he have any other assets he might be hiding?" she asks. I pause, thinking. "I'm not sure," I admit. "Then we need forensic accounting," Victoria says. "Before we file anything, we find everything." The forensic accountant, Derek, starts his work immediately. Within 3 days, he discovers something shocking: a deferred executive compensation plan my husband never told me about. It's worth $340,000, set to pay out when he turns 55 in 2 years. This should have been disclosed as a marital asset. Derek digs deeper and finds more: a small investment account in his name only, funded with money that should have been joint. By law, anything earned during our marriage is marital property. He's been hiding assets for years. I feel betrayed all over again, but Victoria reminds me this helps our case. Non-disclosure of marital assets is serious, she explains, especially when combined with everything else. That weekend, I decide I need to meet her, the other woman. I find her name through the restaurant reservation: Cassandra Moore. Social media makes her easy to locate. She's a pharmaceutical sales rep, recently divorced, 42 years old. I message her. "We need to talk about the man you're seeing. Meet me for coffee." Cassandra agrees to meet me, probably curious. When she arrives at the coffee shop, I see her confidence falter as recognition dawns. "You're his wife," she says quietly. I nod and gesture to the chair across from me. She sits, looking nervous. I show her our wedding photo, our anniversary pictures, recent family gatherings. "He told me you were divorced 2 years ago," she whispers. "He said you took everything in the settlement, and he was rebuilding his life." I feel almost sorry for her. "We're very much married," I say gently. "And he's been using our home equity line to fund your relationship." Her face goes pale. I show her the bank statements, the security deposit for the downtown apartment. "That apartment was supposed to be ours," she says, tears forming. "He promised me we'd live there together after his business issues were resolved." She's as much a victim as I am, in a different way. Before she leaves, she shows me text messages. In them, he promises her a house. "Once everything settles, you'll move in here with me," one message reads. Victoria files an emergency motion citing marital asset concealment, forgery, and financial dissipation. The hearing is scheduled for 10 days out. In the meantime, the judge grants a temporary order freezing all joint accounts and credit lines. My husband comes home that evening in a rage. "What did you do?" he shouts. "The bank says our accounts are locked." I stay calm, phone recording in my pocket per Victoria's advice. "I protected our assets," I say simply. "From you." His face turns red. He starts ranting about how I'm overreacting, how I'm trying to ruin him. Then he makes a mistake. He admits to the apartment. "That place was supposed to be an investment," he snaps. "You wouldn't understand." I ask about the forged signature. He stammers, then claims I must have signed it and forgotten. I pull out the time-stamped meeting video on my tablet. "I was here," I say, showing him. On camera. At exactly the moment you forged my name. His expression shifts from anger to fear. He leaves the house without another word. 3 days later, my phone rings. It's someone from his company's HR department. They're conducting an internal audit and noticed some expense irregularities. They're calling to verify whether certain charges were legitimate business expenses. I tell them the truth. The Valentine's Day dinner was personal, not business-related. So was the hotel suite. The flowers delivered to Cassandra's office were definitely not client relations. The HR representative thanks me and hangs up. That evening, Cassandra texts me. His girlfriend's rent check bounced, she writes. The apartment lease is in my name, but he was supposed to pay. I can't afford it alone. I feel a grim satisfaction. The financial freeze is working. Everything he built on lies is collapsing. My husband shows up at the house the next morning, desperate. He demands access to his money and threatens to fight me on everything. I stay silent, then calmly hand him copies of 3 documents. The property deed showing the house was transferred solely to my name 5 years ago when we refinanced, the forensic accounting report, and the evidence of his signature forgery. His confidence crumbles as he reads. The deed surprises him most. When we refinanced, his credit score was temporarily low due to some business debt. The mortgage company suggested putting the house in my name only to get better terms. He agreed, never imagining it would matter. Now it means he has no claim to our home. This isn't fair, he says weakly. You planned this. I laugh, a bitter sound. I didn't plan for you to cheat and commit fraud. You did that yourself. The next day, Victoria calls with news. His company has scheduled a meeting with him regarding the expense audit. The allegations are serious. Personal expenses disguised as corporate business, policy violations, potential termination. His executive position, his reputation, everything is at risk. I should feel victorious, but mostly I feel tired. That evening, I pour a glass of wine and sit on our back porch. The February air is cold, but I need to think. For 19 years, I built a life with this man. We had dreams, plans, memories. Now it's all ashes. Victoria calls again with another discovery. My husband changed his life insurance beneficiary 6 months ago. Instead of me, the new beneficiary is Cassandra Moore. He never told me about this change, which violates both our post-nuptial agreement and insurance policy requirements. This actually helps us, Victoria explains. The policy has a clause requiring spousal notification for beneficiary changes. Without it, the change is void. Plus, it's another breach of the post-nuptial agreement. The evidence keeps mounting. Every lie reveals another lie. The court hearing approaches, and Victoria prepares our case meticulously. She subpoenas his phone records, email accounts, and corporate expense reports. Each document adds to the pile of his misconduct. Meanwhile, Cassandra has apparently ended things with him. She posted on social media about being deceived and starting fresh. She didn't name him, but the timeline is obvious. He's alone now, with his lies exposed and his finances frozen. I wonder if he regrets it yet, or if he's just angry about getting caught. The court hearing arrives on a cold Monday morning. We sit in the judge's chambers, my husband with his attorney on one side, Victoria and me on the other. Judge Morrison is a woman in her 60s with sharp eyes. She reviews our submitted evidence carefully, asking occasional questions. When she reaches the forged signature evidence, she pauses. Mr. Sullivan, she says, do you dispute that this signature was forged? His attorney whispers something to him. I may have signed for her with permission, he stammers. A verbal permission. Victoria immediately presents the time-stamped video showing me in a meeting. Judge Morrison's expression hardens. This is a serious matter, she says. Forgery on a financial document is not only civil fraud, but potentially criminal. She flips through more pages, reviewing the hidden compensation plan, the undisclosed investment account, the apartment lease, the expense fraud. Finally, she looks up. I'm approving the asset freeze and extending it pending final settlement. This case involves clear breach of fiduciary duty to the marriage. That phrase changes everything. Breach of fiduciary duty means he actively harmed me financially. The judge orders a full accounting of all assets and debts. She also mandates that my husband attend a deposition regarding the forged signature, with the warning that criminal referral is possible. His attorney requests a continuance, but Judge Morrison denies it. This moves forward quickly, she says. Given the evidence of ongoing financial dissipation, we leave the courthouse, and Victoria is pleased. That went better than expected, she says. Morrison is known for being tough on financial misconduct. Over the next 2 weeks, the deposition happens. My husband is forced to admit, under oath, that he forged my signature. He claims it was a misunderstanding and that he intended to tell me. But the timeline proves otherwise. He moved money, rented the apartment, and hid assets for months. The corporate investigation concludes around the same time. His company terminates him for policy violations and expense fraud. No severance package, no deferred bonuses, nothing. His professional reputation is destroyed. Word spreads in his industry. With his termination, the deferred compensation plan becomes relevant. According to company policy, employees terminated for cause forfeit unvested deferred compensation. He loses $340,000 he was counting on. Victoria files our updated settlement proposal, incorporating the infidelity clause from the post-nuptial agreement. We're requesting 70% of his remaining retirement accounts per the terms he wrote. He fights it initially, arguing the clause is unconscionable. But his own signature is on the agreement, and he was the one who proposed the specific terms. Judge Morrison reviews the post-nuptial agreement and rules in our favor. The defendant drafted these terms himself, she states. He cannot now claim they're unfair. I'm awarded the majority of his pension and 401k. He keeps the debt, specifically the $45,000 retirement loan he fraudulently obtained. His attorney argues that the helix should be split between us. Victoria counters with evidence that he used it exclusively for personal affairs and the secret apartment. The spending pattern is clear. Judge Morrison assigns the entire helix debt to him, $28,000 remaining. The house remains solely mine, protected by the deed. His financial situation is devastating, debt with no assets, no job, no savings. Meanwhile, I keep our home, the majority of retirement funds, and my own clean credit. My husband tries one last argument, that I should pay part of his legal fees since we're married. Judge Morrison actually laughs. You committed fraud against your spouse, she says. You'll pay your own legal fees. The final settlement terms are brutal for him, but they're entirely based on his own actions and the agreement he demanded. Victoria estimates his legal fees alone will exceed $60,000. Combined with his other debts, he's looking at nearly $140,000 owed with no income. What happens now? I ask Victoria. We finalize the divorce decree and execute the settlement, she says. You'll receive your portion of his retirement accounts, and he'll begin repaying the debts assigned to him. One afternoon, he calls me, asking to talk. Against Victoria's advice, I agree to meet him at a neutral location. We meet at a park bench near where we had our first date 20 years ago. He looks terrible, 10 pounds lighter, dark circles under his eyes, wearing a wrinkled shirt. I'm sorry, he says immediately. I know that doesn't fix anything, but I'm sorry. I wait for him to continue. I panicked about getting older, he explains. I felt invisible at work, unappreciated at home. Cassandra made me feel young again, important. I got caught up in the fantasy. I listen without sympathy. So you committed fraud, destroyed our marriage, and ruined your career because you needed validation? He winces. When you put it that way, it sounds insane. But yes, basically. I shake my head. You didn't cheat because you were unhappy. You cheated because you thought I wouldn't fight back. You thought I'd just accept it, maybe cry, maybe leave quietly. His silence confirms it. You underestimated me. I continue. You thought I was passive, easy to manipulate. You forgot that I'm the one who managed our finances, planned our future, and read every document carefully, including that post-nuptial agreement you insisted on. He drops his face into his hands. I know. I wrote my own destruction. We sit in silence for a moment. Then he asks, Is there any chance? No, I interrupt. We're done. This isn't about forgiveness or second chances. You committed crimes against me. You forged my signature, stole marital assets, and lied for months. Even without the affair, that would be enough. He nods slowly, defeated. What happens to me now? I almost feel pity. Almost. You figured out. You're an adult. Get a new job, pay your debts, rebuild your life. Just do it without me. I stand to leave, then pause. Actually, I have something for you. I pull an envelope from my bag and hand it to him. What's this? He asks. Open it later, I say. Consider it a Valentine's gift. 1 year late, but fitting. I walk away without looking back, feeling lighter than I have in months. Later that evening, he texts me. I open the envelope. I understand. I don't respond. Inside was the certified divorce decree, the pension allocation summary showing my 70% award, and a copy of the infidelity clause from the post-nuptial agreement, the one he drafted himself. The divorce is finalized in April, 2 months after that terrible Valentine's Day. I celebrate quietly with a close friend, sharing wine and stories about new beginnings. My house is mine alone now. I refinance to pay off the helot completely, using a small portion of the retirement funds I received. The rest I invest carefully, planning for a secure future. My job remains steady, and I'm grateful for the normalcy of work routines. Sometimes I wonder about him, where he lives, how he's managing. Mutual friends tell me he moved to a small apartment across town and found work at a smaller consulting firm, making half his previous salary. His debt repayment will take years. I don't feel guilty about his situation. Every consequence he's facing stems from choices he made. I didn't forge documents, I didn't lie, I didn't cheat. I simply refuse to be a victim. Spring arrives, bringing warm weather and new flowers in my garden. I plant tomatoes and herbs, something I'd wanted to do for years, but never had time. Now I have time. One Saturday morning, I'm at the farmer's market when I see him across the crowd. He looks older, tired, carrying a single grocery bag. Our eyes meet briefly, and he looks away first. I feel nothing. No anger, no sadness, just indifference. That night, I think about the past 19 years. The good memories still exist. Our wedding day, the house purchase, quiet Sunday mornings. But they're overshadowed now by betrayal. I'm learning to be alone, to make decisions without consulting anyone. It's freeing and scary at the same time. I join a book club, take a pottery class, reconnect with friends I'd neglected during my marriage. Life expands in unexpected ways. My friend asks if I'll date again. Maybe eventually, I say. But right now, I'm rediscovering who I am without him. That's enough. She nods, understanding. That evening, I drive past the restaurant where I caught him last Valentine's Day. The frosted glass doors look the same, but I feel different. Stronger. Clearer. I keep driving, heading home to my own space, my own peace. A year passes. It's Valentine's Day again, and I'm back at Marcelo's restaurant. This time, I'm here alone by choice. I specifically requested a regular table, not a private room. The server doesn't recognize me from last year, which is fine. I order the special, filet mignon with roasted vegetables, and a glass of red wine. While I wait, I review my financial statements on my phone. The house is fully paid off now, no HELOC, no mortgage. My retirement accounts are healthy, growing steadily. My credit score is excellent. I'm completely debt-free. The server brings my meal, and I savor each bite slowly. This restaurant used to represent betrayal and hurt. Now it represents my victory, my survival, my strength. After dinner, I order dessert, the same chocolate torte he fed to Cassandra exactly 1 year ago. When it arrives, I smile at the irony. Celebrating something special? The server asks kindly. Yes, I reply. My independence. She smiles back, not understanding but seeming to sense my contentment. I finish my meal, pay with my own card, and leave a generous tip. Walking to my car, I think about the journey from last Valentine's Day to now. 12 months of lawyers, court hearings, depositions, and paperwork. 12 months of anger, grief, and eventually acceptance. It wasn't easy, but it was necessary. I climb into my car, a new one I bought last month, and sit for a moment. The February night is cold but clear, stars visible despite the city lights. My phone buzzes with a text from my friend. Happy Valentine's Day. How was dinner? I reply. Perfect. I'm exactly where I need to be. Driving home, I pass the downtown apartment complex where he'd planned to live with Cassandra. There's a for lease sign in the window. I keep driving. My route takes me through our old neighborhood, past the park bench where we had our final conversation. The streetlights illuminate empty sidewalks. Everything looks peaceful. At a red light, I glance at myself in the rear-view mirror. I look different than last year, stronger, calmer, more assured. The light turns green, and I continue forward. At home, I pour another glass of wine and sit in my favorite chair. The house is quiet but not lonely. I've learned the difference. On my coffee table sits the envelope I gave him last year. I'd made 2 copies, one for him, one for myself. I pull out my copy now. The divorce decree, the pension allocation, the infidelity clause. Physical proof that consequences exist, that actions matter, that preparation beats impulse every time. I think about the timeline, how he spent months planning his affair, hiding money, forging signatures, building lies, and how I spent weeks systematically dismantling everything he'd built, using his own weapons against him. The post-nuptial agreement he insisted on became his downfall. The forgery he committed became a crime. The assets he hid became my evidence. Every move he made to secure his affair helped me secure my future instead. I realize now that I'm not angry anymore. Anger requires energy I'd rather spend elsewhere. I'm simply grateful for the truth, for good legal advice, for my own resilience. I finish my wine and prepare for bed. Tomorrow is Sunday, and I have plans: brunch with friends, a hike in the afternoon, maybe a movie in the evening. Simple pleasures that feel profound after everything I've been through. As I brush my teeth, I think about what I'd tell someone else going through this. Document everything. Trust your instincts. Protect yourself first. Don't let shame or embarrassment keep you silent. Demand what you're owed. I climb into bed, my bed, in my house, paid for with my security, and feel genuinely content. The journey from betrayal to peace wasn't quick or easy, but it was worth it. My last thought before sleep is about Valentine's Day. For most people, it's about romance, flowers, chocolate. For me now, it's about something else. The day I stopped being a victim and became a survivor. The day I gave my cheating husband a gift he'll never forget: consequences. Complete, thorough, life-altering consequences. And that, I think, is the best gift I ever gave myself. Some people might say I was too harsh, too calculated, too unforgiving. Those people have never been betrayed by someone they trusted completely. They've never had their signature forged, their home put at risk, their future jeopardized. They've never felt the specific pain of discovering your spouse funded an affair with your shared security. I don't regret a single decision I made. Not hiring Victoria, not freezing the accounts, not pursuing every legal avenue, not accepting his apology. He didn't just have an affair. He committed fraud. He lied extensively. He planned deliberately. Those weren't mistakes, they were choices. And choices have consequences. The difference between us is simple. He risked everything for a thrill, for validation, for a fantasy that was never going to last. I protected everything for survival, for security, for a future I could control. He gave me betrayal. I gave him consequences. And that's the difference between impulse and preparation, between selfishness and self-preservation, between losing yourself and finding your strength. 1 year later, I'm thriving. And that's the real Valentine's gift, not revenge, but freedom.